It's Monday, which means it's time to play to save. Welcome to Ready, Budget, Game. Welcome back to Ready, Budget, Go. My name is Drew, and on this channel we talk about household budgeting, saving money, and achieving our financial goals. If those sound like things that you vibe with, please consider subscribing, hit the like button, and leave me a comment down below, because I'd love to hear from you. Monday is when we do games to save money for retirement, and I've got a new storage container that hopefully is going to help me keep track of where everything is, keep things in order. So the first thing that we always do is Loteria, and I think this week we're playing Classic Loteria. So I am going to take out the new container that I've bought, and I think, if I can grab it, hopefully this makes sense. Oh goodness, I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera or how well it's going to focus, but it's got all of these different trays in it and then a bucket at the bottom. So it's not terribly big. It's maybe a foot wide and maybe 6 inches long and I don't know, maybe 16 inches high. So I'm hoping that this helps keep me in order and on track. So let's take out Loteria, which is in the first bin. So I'm just going to pop this open here. And we're going to do Classic Loteria, which is this deck. And I will get out a card for Classic Loteria, whatever's next. So we're on card number 8. All right. And then the only other thing that I need here is I need the chips. So those are in the bucket. There we go. So I've got the chips, and we're ready to play Loteria. So I'm going to put this aside, and I really hope that I remember to close those latches every time, because otherwise things are going to go flying. But if they do go flying, I'll probably leave it in because the humor will be worth the price of admission. Okay, so we're going to take out these chips. And if you're new to the channel or new to my Monday night videos or just new to Loteria in general, it is a Spanish bingo-based game, or bingo is based on this, is probably more likely. And essentially what you do is you draw cards from this deck and then you match those up with the pictograms that are on the card. Instead of looking for a row of 5 like in bingo, you're looking for a row of 4, and you're using these pictograms and these cards instead of numbers and bingo balls. So I'm going to give this deck a shuffle. There's more cards in the deck than there are pictures on the card. There's different cards that come with the game, and each one has different pictograms on it. So not all of the cards that I draw will be on my card, on my Loteria card. Okay, so that's a couple shuffles, so I'm going to give it a cut. And let's deal and see what we get here. So first one is El Pino, and I do have that. Next is El Sol. Don't have that. I'm going to flip these over here. El Venado, and we've got that. El Negrito, we don't have him. La Dama, I don't see her. La Escalera, I don't have that. La Arana, no. El Camarón, no, and I'm going to flip this again. El Catrine, no. El Cantarito, yes, we do have that. Okay. And so once I get a Loteria, I'm saving $1 for every chip that's on the card. El Valiente, I don't see him. El Cotoro, no. Okay. El Borracho, nope. La Rana, yeah, right here. So now this heron will give us a Loteria. El Tambor, I don't see that. La Palma, don't see that. La Botella, nope. El Caso, no. La Estrella, no. El Bandolón, no. El Musico, no. El Melón, no. El Nopal, no. El Corazon, no. La Bandera, no. Goodness. El Pescado, we do have. El Soldado, no. La Rosa, no. La Campana, we've got that. So now La Calavera will also give us a Loteria. El Gorrito, no. El Barril, no. La Pera, no. La Corona, yes, we do have that. So now La Chalupa will give us Loteria. La Muerte, no. El Arpa, yes, that opens up El Alacran. Las Haras, no. El Arbol, yes, we've got that. So now we make 2 Loterias here. El Alacran, okay, finally, my goodness, I was running out of cards. So we've got our Loteria here going diagonally, and we're going to save 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $10 into Loteria this week. That's about the highest that it goes. Obviously, you would need to save at least $4 because, you would have 4 minimum to make a Loteria. And of course, if you're interested in playing something like this, adapt it for your own budget. Make these $2 if you want to play higher budget. If you get 2 Loterias, double it. Whatever you feel like doing. So I'm just going to give these one quick shuffle. I'm going to clear off all of these because I know I'm saving $10 into the Loteria envelope this week as I trip over my own tongue. And then back over here, I'm going to put this away. I'm not going to put away the chips because we might need them later for another game. So this goes now to the very bottom because I'm playing these in order. Okay. The Millennial Loteria we will play next week, which is much more irreverent and much more modern, I'll say. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. So now let's go over to the binder. We'll take out a $10 bill. So I put $100 into the binder for savings games each week. And the way that I do it is I use prop money because all of this money is just going into my Roth IRA. So there's no sense in taking it out of the bank, playing with it only to put it back in the bank to put toward my Roth IRA. And I use 120, 3 10s, 5 5s, 7 2s, and 11 1s. And that makes $100. I use the same combination every week. And I shouldn't close the binder because we need to do the 2025. This was a giveaway in my Etsy shop late last year and early this year. So these are no longer available, but there will be a version for 2026 coming out here later in the year. Okay, which one do I need to use here? It's looking like it's going to be that maroon color. So I don't color this in all the way on camera just because it takes me forever. So I'm just going to show some intent here. I will come back and do that later. That's what gets the 20. We're almost done with this challenge. We've only got 2 more left to go after this week. So I am going into envelope number 2. I will put in the 20 along with the challenge. And I do condense these envelopes each week at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. And then next up, we've got Junior's Restaurants. Apologies for bumping the tripod here. So Junior's Restaurants is a box challenge that was gifted to me by April from April's Fresh Start and her son Junior. This is one that Junior sells in April's Etsy shop, and when one of these sells or any of his challenges, he gets all the money, mom pays the taxes and the Etsy fees. And he uses that to put toward his savings and his goals. So I've only got a few cards left, but I do have still several more weeks to play. My goal is to put at least $10 into Junior's Restaurants each week. There are search and saves in here. There are mini games in here. There's a catch-all in the back. So I have been doing this for, excuse me, I want to say probably 4 months now. And I'm still playing it, so I'm really getting a lot of mileage out of it. And unlike most box challenges, because this is the first one that I've ever done, I'm just putting everything into one envelope because it's all going to the same place anyway. Okay, so let's give these a quick shuffle here. Like I say, there's not all that many left. I'll draw one and we'll see what we're doing this week. This one right here. And it says, order 1 item from Junior's Diner menu and save that amount. Okay, so let's go to the Junior's Diner menu. We've got Junior's Steakhouse, Junior's Donuts, Junior's Pizzeria, Junior's Fruits, shut the to-go box, there's Junior's Diner menu. Okay, so I have used a variety of highlighter colors on this challenge over the weeks, and this week it looks like, well, I'm gonna use a new highlighter, but hopefully it's within at least the same color family. I picked up these window highlighters on a recent shopping trip, and I love them, so I'm using them often. And I think I'm going to save the biggest amount, which is D's Double Stack Pancakes. I believe that's D Plans and Budgets. I'm on here too. I'm saving mine for last. I'm the Ready Breakfast Go protein shake. So D's Double Stack Pancakes will save us $6. Okay. So I'm going to put this back because I'm not going to stick that back. I'm not going to stick this card back in the pile just yet. There's another one in here that asks you to save 2 from the menu. So I don't want too many of those in the stack in one go. So let's see what this one is. Order 2 items from the Junior's Diner menu and save the total. Okay, so this could very well put us over the $10, but that's okay. So let's see. So we've got April's Fresh Squeezed Juice for $1. We've got my Ready Breakfast Go protein shake for $4, and we've got Dawn's Sunrise Breakfast Skillet for $5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Dawn's Sunrise Breakfast Skillet. That's going to be one of the items. And then I will also do April's Fresh Squeezed Juice for $1. So that's 5 plus 1, so that's $6. Plus the other $6 makes 12. So I'm going to put the 5 and the 1 back and take out a 10 and a 2. Both of these go back in. Well, actually, I've only got the one left. So I'm going to retire this one, and I'm going to put this one back. So this one will go over into the discards because it's already done. Everything else goes back to the front, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards left for the whole challenge. So we're getting there slowly but surely, but some of these games I've got to play several more times before I can call them complete. So, okay, so that is Junior's Restaurants. I've got the $12 here. Let me get the binder back out. Envelope number 3 for Junior's Restaurants, and I'll just stick this right in the front. And then we'll go to where the clip is, and I think the clip was on Dicefecta. So, yep, that's where it is. So I will get the Dicefecta game out, and with the magic of editing, I'll be right back and we'll play this game. All right, here we are with Dicefecta, and Dicefecta is a new dice-based game that I just released in May. So if you haven't seen it before, I will go through the rules real quick. So in Dicefecta, you get 8 different game cards. There are 2d6, 2d8, 2d10, and 2d12, card A and card B for each one. And the way that you play Dicefecta is that you choose a game card to play. If you need the dice, you can get them from me, and the color of the die will match the color of the card. So the d6 is blue, the d10 is green, you get the idea. So once you've selected your card and you've got your die ready to go, you roll and you mark off the numbers as you roll. And then once you get a complete section, so this is a section, this is a section, this is a section, this is a section. Once one of your sections is complete, then you decide how much you're going to save. There's 3 different suggested savings methods. One method is you add up every number in the section that you completed and you save that amount. So if I completed this section, I would save 1 plus 2 plus 4, or $7. Or you save $1 for every number that's marked off on the card. So if you marked off all of the, let's just say you got 1, 2, and 4, and you marked off all the 1s, 2s, and 4s, you would save $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6. Or you save the amount of the last number that you rolled. So if the last number you rolled was 4 and that gave you the completed section, you would save $4. It'll make more sense as I play. So I'm going to play, I think I'm going to play High Roller this week, and I'm going to play the D12. And the reason why I'm going to play the D12 is to show you that even if you're playing with a high die denomination, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to save a ton of money. And when you order this from me, it's available in my Etsy shop. You also get an instruction card, so all the instructions are written here. It helps to use a wet erase marker or a dry erase marker. I'm using dry erase, so any marks that I make on the page can easily be wiped away, just like that. Okay, so let me get out the D12 and we'll get started. The D12 is going to be red, so I've got that one out. And then I'm also going to get out my dice tray so that it doesn't wander too far. And I am going to switch because I'm left-handed. So we'll put this here, move the cash over a little bit, make sure everything's in screen. Yes, it is. Okay. So let's get to rolling and let's see how we do here. Okay, so we've got 11. So we're going to mark off the 11. There's only one on this card. I'm playing card B. Number 1, so we'll mark that off. And if you roll a number that you've already marked off, just re-roll. Okay, 4, we've got that here. 4 again, so we'll re-roll. 7, that's 7 here. 7 again. 10, okay, we'll mark off the 10. 12, mark that off. 5, so we've got that here and here, so an 8 will give us a dice fecta. 7 we've already rolled. 6, okay, so now a 9 will also give us a dice fecta. 11 we've already rolled, and we got the 8. Okay, so I'm going to mark it off in both places. This now gives me the dice fecta, so now I decide how much I'm going to save. If I'm going high budget, I'm going to save 12 plus 8 plus 5 plus 1. So 12 plus 8 is 20, 5 plus 1 is 6, so $26. That's a bit more than I want to put into this challenge. So another method is to save $1 for every number that's marked off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I could put in $11, or the third method is to save the amount of the last roll, which was 8. I'm going to save the $11, one for each number that's marked off. But if I were playing this lower budget, I would save the $8. So even though I'm rolling a D12 and I've got all these scary numbers and a lot of things marked off, I would only have to save $8 at the most. Okay, or at the least. Okay, so let me get this all wiped off. And, even if you buy this challenge, if you still don't want to play D12, you don't have to. You can play the D6 version, you can play the D8 version, you can change the rules to make it suit you, however you want to do it. Okay, so I am going to save the $11. And that's going to be it for Dice Fecta for this week, because I do want to get to some other games that are in the binder, but I will be playing this most weeks, certainly whenever it comes up in the rotation. Okay, and you also get a dashboard with this that is different from the instruction card. And on the back, they're all identical. So if you want to randomize and pick one at random, you could, draw from, you could spread them out on the table and just pick one, and that's the one you play. Okay, so let me put the D12 back in the bag o' dice. Okay, we'll set this challenge off to the side until it's time to go back to the container. My dry erase marker to the side, because I won't need that for a minute. And that's going to fall down. That's great. Okay. So over to Dice Fecta, which is an envelope 10. We're going to put in the $11. And we'll move on to the next challenge, which is the 12 Days of Christmas. The 12 Days of Christmas is a scratch-off challenge that I created. It's also available in my Etsy shop. There is one card for each of the 12 Days of Christmas, and it's got these postage stamps on it from Christmas Island, one for each of the 12 Days of Christmas. And the number of scratch-offs correspond to the day of Christmas that it is. So here we're looking at the 9 Lords of Leaping, and there's 9 scratch-offs on this card. I've already done one of them, but there's 8 more left. Here we've got the 10, the 11. I keep this one flipped over because this is the first day of Christmas, and we've already scratched the one on the partridge in the pear tree, and I just don't want to spoil it for anybody. Okay, so let's get out. You know what? I'm going to need that D12 again. So I could use a different one. In fact, you know what? I think I will. I will show my full collection of dice here. I have a little bit of a problem with collecting D12s and D6s and D4s and D8s and D anything, really. Okay. So I've got a D12, and we'll roll it, and we'll see which one we're going to scratch. Oh, jumped right out of the box. See which one we're going to scratch. Number 5. Okay, so the 5 golden rings. And we've already done one, but there's 4 more left, so you know what? I'll just roll the D12, and that'll tell us which one. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to scratch here. Now, the question is, what did I do with my little scratcher? I know that I took it out, and my little scratcher, if you haven't seen this before, if you haven't seen my game night before, is just a quarter. And it has completely gone missing. Okay, so backup plan, I'm going to use the paperclip because that's within reach. So let's see what's under here. Okay, the paperclip is not an effective tool. Let me do plan C. Plan C, and I'm going to leave all this in because this is real life, right? Plan C is to get out, another quarter from my cache of loose change. And we'll scratch away this way. There we go. $4. All that work for $4. So that's what's going to go into this challenge this week. Again, I'm not really concerned with finishing this by Christmas or by any specific date because all of this money is going into my Roth IRA. So as long as I get my Roth IRA fully funded, that is what matters. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm not going to bother with the vacuum. I'll just set these to the side. Wish I hadn't put that quarter away because the next one's a scratch off too. I'll get the binder back out. And we'll put $4 into envelope 11. Oops, just 4. And envelope 11. Okay, next up is the 12 face cards. This is another savings challenge. This one is a scratch-off challenge as well, as I mentioned before. This is also available in my Etsy shop. The 12 face cards is a 5 size. The 12 Days of Christmas is a 6 size. So let's get those cards out. And in this one, each card corresponds to one of the face cards in a standard deck of cards. So on the front, you have the face card and 12 scratch-offs on each. And on the back, you have a description of what each card, who the person on the card is supposed to represent. So here we've got Julius Caesar on the King of Diamonds. We've got Sir Lancelot on the Jack of Clubs. Lahir on the Jack of Diamonds. He was a soldier who fought with Joan of Arc alongside of her. So on the back, like I say, it gives you a little bit of information about each one, and then there's scratchers on the front. So what I do for this one is I shuffle a deck of cards. This is just a standard deck of playing cards, and then I let that decide which face card I go to, and then I roll a die to see which one I'm going to scratch. So let's give it a shuffle. And a cut, just one shuffle and cut. And I just keep dealing until I hit a face card. King of Spades, okay. So the King of Spades is the shepherd, so this is King David from the Bible, and we've already scratched 3 on him, so I'm gonna get that trusty D12 back out, give it a roll. Number 6, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna go right here, and I'm gonna find out that that quarter is well and truly gonzo. So I'm going to go back to my little stash here and get out the bag of change again and get a quarter, maybe the same one, maybe a different one. Ooh, a Canadian nickel. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, well, I'll just throw it back in there anyway. Okay, we got a quarter. I say it's too bad because, you know, when I go to cash these in, which will be soon, I'm not going to be able to do that with that Canadian nickel. So maybe I'll save it for my next trip to Canada, and who knows when that's going to be. So we rolled number 6, so that we're right here. And this week we're going to save $3. So I'm actually going to go again on this challenge. I will keep dealing the cards, and we'll see if we get a different, well, I know we're going to get a different face card because I'm going to put the King of Spades down here at the back. And we've got the Jack of Hearts. So that is Lahir, or Lair. I don't quite know how it's pronounced. And we have done 1 on this one. So let me give it a roll. And let's see what number we're going to scratch. Number 12. So this would be 11, 12. And here we've got $5. I think the highest on these is, I want to say like 12 or 15, somewhere in that neighborhood, and the lowest I believe is 3. Okay, so take out a 5, and we've got all that going into this challenge. These are numbered at the bottom if you would rather use a die to tell you which one to scratch. Okay, set these to the side. We'll get the binder back out. We'll throw all of this into the last envelope, number 12, and we'll go back to the front, which is going to be Dicetropolis. So I think I have used not quite too much film yet, so I am going to just keep going. We'll take out the dashboard, which also has one of the games on the back. Close this up. We'll go back to the bucket here, or to the stack of games. Oops, and I opened the bucket. That's not what I meant to do. Put away the face cards. We'll put away 12 Days of Christmas. We'll put away Dicefecta. We'll put away the deck of cards. And we will go to the top bucket, or the top tray. Second tray, actually. Not that one. There we go. And I'm going to take out flip 7, yes, because we probably get to that. Might not, but we probably will. Left, center, right, and Dicetropolis and Dicetropolis 2. Okay. So Dicetropolis 2 recently dropped. We'll play that one next, but we're going to start with Classic Dicetropolis. Classic Dicetropolis is all D6 based. So we'll put Dicetropolis 2 to the side, along with these other games. Let me just get these cards in a stack here. Set them precariously, hope they don't fall. Okay. So in Dicetropolis, there are 12 different games. Each one is numbered down here at the bottom, 1 through 12. These cards are double-sided, just like with Dicefecta, rather. These are glossy coated if you buy them from me in my Etsy shop as a physical product, so they will hold up to wet erase or dry erase, and you use them again and again and again. Dicetropolis is also available as a digital download, so if you order the digital download, you print them out, you laminate them, then obviously you can reuse them as well. Okay, so let's give the D12 a roll, and that's going to tell us which game we're going to play. Number 9, which is String. And you know, we played String not too long ago. I think I'm going to override that one, and we're going to play something we haven't played in a while. Let's play Dropout. Dropout is one of my favorite games in Dicetropolis, and if you haven't seen it before, the way that Dropout works is I get out a couple of D6 dice, is you roll 2 D6, actually I need more than 2. I need 5, I think. Yeah, I need 5 of them. So let me get out 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so in Dropout, you roll 5 D6 dice, and if you roll a 2 or a 5, then you drop out those dice and you score a 0 for that roll. If you roll, if your roll doesn't have any 2s or 5s in it, then you score for that roll, and then you add up at the end. Most of your rolls, particularly your early rolls, are going to have a 2 or a 5, so this can be a really low-budget game, despite it looking like it might be scary. So let's give it a play, and let's see what happens this week. Okay, so on my first roll, sure enough, I did not get any 2s or 5s, so I got 8, 9, 10, 13. So I'm going to write that here, and I get to keep all 5 dice. Don't be scared of the 13. I'll tell you how to do it low budget here at the end. Okay, so here we got 2 2s, so we're going to lose those dice. And we're going to score 0. So we'll roll the 3 remaining dice, and all are 2s, so we've dropped out. Okay, so we are not going to roll 4 or 5, so our total score for this game is 13. Now, you can do it as that's your total, and that's what you save, but I'm going to do this low budget. I'm going to add the 1 and the 3, and I'm going to save $4. So let's play again. Oh, goodness. Okay, these dice came to play. So we've got 10, 23. We didn't roll any 2s or 5s, so that is our score for that roll. Let me just... I didn't write that very clearly, and I want to make sure I remember what I actually rolled. So 2, 3. Roll them again. And we got a 5, so we score a 0 for this roll. And we take that die out. Doesn't matter what's on the other dice. And here we got, oh goodness, no 2s and no 5s. So I've got 12, 15, 16 for this roll. This is probably the best that I've ever done on Dropout as far as not losing any dice. So we got 2 5s, so we're going to lose those. We score a 0. And we've got 1 more roll left. and they both dropped out. Okay. So we've got 23 plus 16 is 39. 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So I hope that makes sense how I did that. So let's say 23. Let me see if I can write it here. 23 plus 16 is 39. 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So that's what I'm saving for that row. So that's $7 going into Dropout, and I think that's where I'm going to call it for the week. So like I say, Dropout is one of my favorite games. I could play the whole card. I could play the card like 3 or 4 times, honestly, because you never know what you're going to get. And I have gotten all the way to the end, and everything has dropped out. So sometimes I do end up with a 0. But for this week, we're going to save $7 into Dicetropolis. Which is envelope number 4. And then we're going to move on and play Dicetropolis 2. So Dicetropolis 2 is all based on D3 dice, and you can get those from me if you like, or you can use your own. You have, D4 dice, not D3 dice. You have, you will need at least 3 D4 dice in order to play Dicetropolis 2, because some games require all 3, some are only 1, some require 2, but it's good to have 3 on hand. So I've got the Dicetropolis 2 dice here. So we'll set the dice bucket over here, and we'll get that D12 back, and that will tell us which game we're going to play. Whoops. Ah, goodness. There we go. Number 10. Okay, so in Dicetropolis 2, 10 is tracks. And in tracks, you are basically trying to roll either odd or even consistently. And you only need 1 D4 for this game, so I'm going to set those other 2 to the side. So the first roll determines which track you were on. So let's give it a roll. And we rolled a 2, so we are on the even track. Now the object is to keep rolling even numbers, and if we roll an odd number, then we've derailed, and we save according to how many safe rolls that we had. So let's see. So 2, so we're still on the right track. And we've got a 3, so we've derailed. So we had 2 safe rolls, so this game will save $2. Dicetropolis 2 tends to be lower budget than the original Dicetropolis. So let's clear this off. Just because you're dealing with lower numbers, and you are essentially also rolling fewer dice most of the time. Okay, so let's play that again. So we got a 2, so we're on the even track again. And a 1, so we immediately derail. So we had 1 safe roll. So we save $1. So that's the theme of tracks. Let's give the D12 another roll, and let's play something else in Dicetropolis 2. Just because this set of games is new, and I haven't played it many times on my channel. Okay, we got number 1. So in Dicetropolis 2, game number 1 is on the dashboard, on the back of the dashboard, and I must not have taken that out. I didn't. Okay. So let me grab that out of the binder. Envelope number 5. Okay. In fact, this is the first time we're playing Dicetropolis 2 in its own envelope. So this is Add 'em Up. And in this game, it's sort of like Shut the Box, but not exactly. So in this game, instead of just adding the 2 numbers and then deciding which one you're going to pull off, you can eliminate 1 or 2 numbers, but you're rolling 2 D4 dice, and you have to roll 2. There is no going down to 1 die, just because there are so few numbers. So in Add 'em Up, the play is not to save the low numbers for the end. In fact, you want to get rid of those as soon as you can, because otherwise you're going to have to eat the 1 and the 2, because 1 is impossible to roll with 2 dice, and 2 is really hard to roll with 2 dice. Okay, so just to read the full instructions, it says the object is to clear all the numbers off the board, meaning per row, per game. Roll 2 D4 dice, then remove the total rolled by striking out 1 or 2 numbers from that game. For example, if you roll a 1 and a 3, you can remove both the 1 and the 3 from play, or you can remove the 4. Continue rolling until all numbers are eliminated, or until you make a roll that cannot be removed from the remaining numbers. Add the total remaining numbers and save that amount. Low budget version, save $1 for each remaining number regardless of value. So let's give it a go and let's see how we do. Okay, so we've got a 4 and a 2. So I'm going to take the 6 off. Like I say, eliminating the higher numbers right off the bat is not necessarily the best play, but 6s are pretty hard to roll too. So, okay, and we've got a 4 and a 4. So the only way to do this is to take the 5 and the 3. So now I'm stuck with those low numbers already. I need to roll something really low. We've got a 2 and a 2. So the only thing I can do is to eliminate the 4. So I pretty much need to roll a 1 and a 2, and that will allow me to eliminate everything. Or if I roll a 1 and a 1, then I can at least eliminate the 2, but I'll still have to eat the 1. So let's see how we do here. Low numbers. And I got a 3 and a 4. Womp womp. So I'm eating the 1 and the 2. So I'm saving $3. So I'm going to take this 2 and put in a 5. And let's do the next line and let's see if we do any better. And I'm also going to say if I remove all 6 numbers, I'll save $10. Why not? Okay, 3 and the 3. So I'm going to do 6. You know what? I'm not. This time I'm not. I'm going to do 5 and 1. I'm going to be different. I already marked off the 6, but the benefit of dry erase is you can just wipe it off and change your mind. So I'm not going to get stuck with that 1 this time. Okay, 3 and a 4, so that's 7. All I can do is 3 and 4. So I've got a 2 and a 6 left. 3 and a 3, so I get rid of the 6. So now I need to roll a 1 and a 1, or I'm going to eat that 2. And I got a 2 and a 3. Okay, so save $2 for this game. So again, low budget. I would save $1 for having just one number left, but when it's the difference between $1 or $2, I'm just going to save the 2. So that makes $8 for Dicetropolis 2. I think we'll call it there so we can move on to some other games. And I also need to break the video because each segment can't go more than 15 minutes or I have trouble with uploading. So this goes back to the binder. And I also need to put the Dicetropolis OG back in the binder. These go off to the side. These can go back in the dice bucket later. If you do order the physical product from me, you have the option of getting the 3D4 dice. The colors are random. I have multiple different colors that I have, I would say, available, but it's just going to be a luck of the pick. Okay, so 4 is Dicetropolis. 5 is Dicetropolis 2, along with the $8. I won't be able to do any consolidating or condensing in this envelope because it's the first time that we're using it, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to break the video here. We'll come back and we'll do left, center, right. Left, center, right is a game that's commercially available. You can get it in any specialty board game, card game store pretty much, or you can get it on Amazon, probably Target. I've seen it in a lot of big box stores. So when you buy the game, it comes with 3 special dice as well as all of these different chips. Now these chips are dark blue and my background is dark blue, so I've been using these bigger chips to play with for this game. This has entirely different rules when you play it with other people. Excuse me, but I've adapted this to be a savings challenge game. So each die has on it the word left, the word right, a star, which is for the center, and then it has the circle 3 times. So you've got 3 different faces that have that circle. And the way that I play this as a savings challenge game is I start with this big old stack of chips, and I put 3 in front of me, and the rest is kind of the bank. I roll these dice, and then according to what they say, I make 3 piles. So I make a left, a center, and a right pile. And I keep rolling and moving them out there until I run out of money here, or run out of chips here. Now, how I get more chips, because I'm only starting with 3, is anytime one of the circles comes up, I take another one and put it into the pot. So I've had this game end in 1 roll, and I've had it go to where I've put every single chip into one of the 3 stacks, and you never know which way it's going to go. So let's give it a roll. Oops, let me make these back here. Give it a roll and see how we do this week. Okay, so we've got 1 going to the center and 2 more coming into the pot. Okay, 1 coming into the pot and 2 going to the right. 1 to the pot, 2 to the left, One to the left, one to the center, one more to the pot. Okay, so one more to the pot, one to the right, one to the center. Now, the way that I determine, I'm all out of money here, so the game's over. And the way that I determine what I'm going to save is I go by the highest stack. And I think we're all even here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 1, 2, 3, and we've got 1, 2, 3. Make sure those are in camera, on frame, yes. So we've got 3 stacks of 3, so it's going to be a $3 save this week. Not terribly big, but I've had it go as high as 10, 11, 12 maybe. Generally, 10 is about where it caps out, and 3 is usually, well, 3 is about the smallest that I've gotten. I might have gotten one smaller when it was over in one roll, but 3 is usually about the lowest. Okay, so let's get the binder out. We'll go to envelope 6, and it's right there. $3 goes in. And now it's time for Flip 7. Flip 7 is another game that is commercially available. This is a card game. Stick those here. Let me just put away the left, center, right dice. Okay, so in Flip 7, if you haven't seen it before, it has a lot of number cards on it, right? So here's all the cards in the deck. Now, these correspond, the number corresponds with how many of them there are in the deck. So there's 10 10s, there's 9 9s, there's 12 12s, so on and so forth. There's also special cards that will either add numbers to your score, like this one is a +6, or it will freeze you. That's what this one is. This is a Flip 3. It's a mandatory draw, and then you also have a second chance. I don't think I've ever gotten the second chance, but I also don't think I've gotten the Flip 3, maybe once. So at any rate, the way that I play this as a savings challenge game is I deal at least 3 cards, and then I decide if I want to keep going or not. The object is not to draw the same number card twice, so I don't want to draw a 12 and a 12. It doesn't matter if it's in a row, like I could draw a 12 and then a 7 and then a 2 and then another 12. You just don't want to have 2 of the same value when the game ends. So the higher the value, it's better for your score, but it also makes it more likely that you're going to bust. And if you bust, there's a penalty, so I don't want that. And I busted last time I played this, so I'm really going to be shy about continuing after the mandatory 3-card draw this time. But let's see how it goes. Okay. So I'm just going to give it a couple of shuffles and then a cut, and let's see how we do this week. So we've got an 8, not too bad, an 11, and a 12. Okay, horrible. I'm going to stop right here. 11 and the 12 are about the 2 worst cards that you can draw because there's 10 more 11s and 11 more 12s in the deck, and there's also 7 more 8s. So there's a lot of cards left in here that can break me, and I don't want to break. So I'm going to stop, and I am going to call it. Now, I could do this just the straight up way, which is adding up all the point values and then saving that amount, but I don't do that. I play this one low budget too. So 8 plus 12 is 20, plus 11 is 31, 3 plus 1 is 4, so I'm going to save $4 into Flip 7 this week. I'm just going to play it once, but this is another one of those games that I could play again and again and again, on and on and on, because it's fun, and every game is different. You never know what's going to happen. And I also feel like the more I play it, the more I would get those special cards, especially if I just decided that, you know, these cards I was going to discard instead of put them in and reshuffle the whole deck. That would change things up too. But for now, I am just going to save the $4. I'm going to have to use all singles, which is fine. So we've got 3 1s and 2 5s left, so about $13. Well, exactly $13. And that is more than enough to play a round of quicks. Come on, you. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go in here. Quicks, we're starting a brand new scorecard this week. This is another dice game. It is similar to Shut the Box, but again, a little bit different. So Quicks is, if I didn't mention it, it's commercially available. It comes with a score pad and some special dice. Special colored dice. I mean, there's nothing terribly unique about the dice themselves. But let me get those out. So we're going to start on the red line, as we always do. So I'm going to take out the 2 white dice and the red die. Now, I explain how to play this every week, so I think this time I'm not going to go into the rules. I'm just going to start rolling, and then I'll explain as we go along, rather than going into the rules, then playing. How does that sound? Hopefully it sounds good. I also need a highlighter and I need a pen to write the score. Okay, so I generally don't use a box for this one, but I think I will this week. So I'm going to flip these around. There we go. And let's see how we do. Okay, so we've got 8 and we've got 6. I am going to take the 8. I'm going to leave the 6. Barely see that. I think I need a different color for this game. Let's see. I'm just going to use one of these. So we'll just mark that here. That's better. Okay. So we've got 2 and we've got 5, and I'm going to take both of those because you have to take at least one number, or you can take 2, and you have to use exactly 2 dice to make the number. So I don't have 6, 4 plus 1 plus 1. I have 4 plus 1, and I have 1 plus 1. So I have 5 and I have 2. 2 is really hard to roll, so I'm definitely taking that. 5 isn't that much easier, so I'm going to take that one too. You want to leave the numbers that are easy to roll, like 7, 6, 8, as long as you can, because you might need those to get out of trouble later. Okay, so on this roll, I have 5, I have 7, and I have, well, that was a 2. Come on, you. There we go. So I have 5, I have 7, and I have 8. So I am going to say, well, I can't do the 5 or the 8, so I have to take the 7. It's the only play to make, and that's why we leave the 7 open, as long as we can. So here we've got 9, we've got 7, and we've got 8. 7 and 8 are already taken, so I have to take the 9. Okay, here we've got 6, we've got 10, and we've got 8. 8's already gone. I'm going to take the 10 for sure because it's a big number. I'm going to leave that 6. I've got 2 really small numbers, 2 really big numbers, and the only one I have left in the middle is the 6. So I might need that to get myself out of trouble. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, perfect. So I've got 3, I've got 4, and I've got 5. So I'm taking the 3 and the 4, both of those, and I'm going to hope for really high numbers this time. High, high, high. 6s. Nope. So I've got 7, I've got 4, and I've got 5. And all of those are taken, so I'm out. So I have 6 plus 11 is 17, plus 12 is 29, and I add the 2 and the 9, and I save $11. So it looks like that is going to be it for this week. Because I could play another one, but that could add up to some big money. I'm not going to add the 1 and the 1. I usually just get it to anything under about 15 or so, and then that's what I save. So I'm going to save the $11, and then we'll do one question in Sust, which is the next one, which means we will have gotten all the way through the binder this week. So that's great. So let me put these dice away wherever they went. Did I put them back in the tub? I think I might have. I sure did. Okay, so these go back. We'll get out the binder, and we'll take the scorecard and the money. And all of this business goes into envelope number 8. Okay. And let's take out Sust. Sust is a would you rather game. It is commercially available, though I don't think this was printed in the United States. I think this came from either the UK or Canada or Australia, just based on the spelling of things. It uses the Queen's English as opposed to the American spellings. And the way that I do this is option A is $2, option B is $3, option C is $5, and I always give my honest opinion on which one of these I would rather have or do. Okay, so this question says, which would I most like to be world class at? A, sprinting, B, playing basketball, or C, Formula One racing? Oh boy. Well, I think the most money is probably in Formula One racing. Certainly that's the best for traveling and whatnot. But gosh, all three are kind of, prone to injuries. Sprinting, I mean, it would be handy to run. Playing basketball, I don't think is going to be, it's great for playing basketball, but it doesn't give you any other skills. I'm going to say Formula One racing, Because if you can race a Formula One car, then you're probably a pretty good driver just on the regular roads, and I would love to have that skill because currently I don't drive. So I'm going to say Formula One racing. Check that off. That's going to be $5, which is more than what I have here. I've only got $2 left. So I'm going to take 3 more, which is totally fine. 1, 2, 3. I've used so many ones that I don't even have stickers on these. Okay, 1, 2, 3 more. So that is what's going to go in for SUST for this week. So let's go over to, let me get the dice tray out of the way. Let's go over to envelope number 9. Come on, there we go. Stick this in here. We'll stick the question card back in here. I will put the marker back on Dicefecta. So we'll start with Dicefecta again next week. But don't click off just yet, because now what I'm going to do is go through all of the envelopes that we used this week and condense where I can. So I'll get set up for that, and I'll come right back and we'll condense some envelopes. All right, I've got the cash tray all set up to do a condensing, so let's get to it. So we're going to go through every envelope that we used this week, starting with Loteria. And in Loteria, we've got 100, 50, 70, 85, 86, so nothing we can condense there. Goodness, there we go. Then we've got 2025, and we can do a little bit of condensing here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 400, 20, 40, 60. So we're going to take all these 20s back, put the stickered one in the front and the unstickered in the back. And we'll take out a 50, just one, there we go, and a 10. Okay, so 460. So like I say, 2 more weeks and this challenge will be done. I'll have to think of something to put in its place. I've got a pretty good idea, but for now, we're good there. Okay, envelope number 3, Junior's Restaurants. Don't know if we can condense here. We've got 100, 200, 20, 32. So we can't condense, but I am going to swap this 20 for one that has a sticker on it, because those are always easier to sort. So I think we'll probably be close to $300 by the time I'm done with this challenge, which is not bad for the low amounts that are in this challenge. So if you haven't checked out April's Fresh Start, her channel yet, go ahead and do that. And on Wednesdays is her game day, and she plays that with her son Junior, who creates all of these fun challenges that are available on her Etsy shop. Okay, envelope number 4 is Dicetropolis. And in Dicetropolis, we have 100, 200, 50, 5, 57, 58. So again, nothing we can do there. It's already as condensed as can be. Dicetropolis 2 I'm not even going to go into. That has $8 in it. There's nothing we can condense in there. This was our first week using this envelope. And then envelope 6 is left, center, right. So here we've got 100, 50, 60, 2, 3, and 4. So the only thing we can do here is swap these 1s for a 2. And the instruction card. Okay, so that goes in there. Let's look at flip 7. Flip 7 has 100, 50, 60, 62, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. Okay, so I need to keep a 2 and a 1. These can all go back for a 5. Okay. And then quicks. And in quicks we have scorecard. Here we go. 100, 200, 20, 40, 5, 50, 5, 57, 59, 60. So I'm going to swap all this business for a 50 and a 10. So a couple of 20s, handful of 5s, a couple of 2s, and a 1. Okay. So that took some bulk out of that envelope. Then in envelope number 9, we have Sust. And in Sust, there is 50, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it looks like I'm only going to be condensing the 5 ones for a 5, which is fine. It's something. Okay. I have no idea how much this game is going to save because obviously it depends on my answers for each of the questions. But there's, I think, 600 different prompts. So that means that if hypothetically, if everything were the $2 answer, that's at least $1,200. So quite a lot. And we'll see what it ends up being. But I'm going to be playing this one for a long, long time. Okay, let's talk about Dicefecta. Take the clip off momentarily. It's got 25, 35, 37, 38, 39. So I'm going to swap these ones for a 2. And then I think I'm going to swap, I'm going to swap this 20 for another. It's got a sticker on it. So I think I've played Dicefecta 3 times, and it's got $39. Well, 3 different weeks, and it's got $39 in it. So, like I say, it doesn't have to save you a ton of money, but it can if you want it to. Okay, envelope number 11, the 12 Days of Christmas. Let's see what we've got going on in here. So in this envelope, we've got 100, 20, 30, 5, 37, 39, 40. Perfect. So I'm going to put all of this away, including this 20 that's unstickered. And I'm going to grab a stickered one and another one. There we go. So the unstickered 20, 10, 35, 37, 39, and 40. Great. The 12 Days of Christmas saves $500 in total. And then on the, also, I didn't mention, but on the backs of the game cards are placeholders of various amounts between $25 and $500. So as you play them, you can swap out your money for placeholders, especially if you're saving for Christmas all year long. Or once you're done, you can just use them as placeholders. You get some extra use out of them. Okay, then we have the 12 face cards. And in this one, we've got 100, 50, 60, 5, 70, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm going to swap 10, 20. Let's see. I need a 5 and a 1, so this should be 20. 10, 15, 17, 19, 20. Yeah, okay. 10, 15, 19, and 20. So we'll take out our 20. So 176. Yep, that's right. Okay. So that goes in there, and that brings us to the end of the condensing. So let's just see how thin this this binder is, rather. It's also got the envelopes in it for the Savings Challenge books, which I will have uploaded on Wednesday. Oops, I forgot to put the clip back onto Dicefecta. Let me go over to that. Oh, oops, wrong way. Hang on. There we go. So as I was saying, I will have the video for the Savings Challenge books up on Wednesday morning or midday, depending on your time zone. And that will be the other about $200 that I put toward my Roth IRA each week. On Friday, sometimes Saturday, I will be back here for my weekly budget update. And then I also have the June launch coming up on the 28th, so look for that announcement soon. When I was talking earlier about what I was going to do to replace the 2025 challenge, and I said I think I have an idea, I'm going to show you a preview. This will be your bonus for watching all the way to the end. This is one of the items that will be launching at the end of June in my Etsy shop. This is a rainbow dice challenge. So there are 6 almost identical cards. I mean, all the numbers are identical. They are double-sided, so this first side will save you 84. The back side will save you 168. So it's essentially the same numbers twice. So it's your choice whether you want to do the front, the back, both the front and the back. If you bought Dicetropolis from me and you got the rainbow dice, then you're all set to go. Or you can use your own dice, or you'll be able to buy the dice with this game as well. So this will be going up on my Etsy shop on June 28th, but that is just your little preview. I will have an announcement video coming up on the 27th, right before everything goes live. But that is one of the items. I've also got a few other items. Some of them I have sent out to folks in the community, so they've already seen them and shared on their channels. Others, you'll just have to wait and see. So make sure you come back for that. Again, if you are not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. I would love to have you here on my channel, and I will save $5 for every subscriber. I cover that in my weekly budget update videos. So thank you again so much for joining. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below so that I know you were here. And until I see you in the next one, take care.